Working out is not my therapy. Meditation is not my therapy. Traveling is not my therapy. Spending time with my wife and kids is not my therapy. My therapy is therapy. It's sitting down twice a month with a licensed therapist telling him unspeakable things about my inner thoughts and feelings. In 2022, I ran into a brick wall of depression and thoughts that were going to end me. And just before they won, I checked into a hospital. Nobody in the world knew that I was struggling. I was in my bag at the time. They might have seen that my behaviors had changed. I was not sleeping right, drinking a lot of coffee to stay awake. I was talking more quietly because I just wasn't feeling confident in myself. I was more irritable, but internally I was thinking I was better off not being here. When I first shared this about myself, I learned that a lot of people were struggling with the same kind of thoughts, a lot more people than I ever would have imagined. And when I was going through it, I had never heard anybody talk about it themselves, so it felt like I was the only one who felt this way. There was no reason for me to think that this would get better because I'd never heard of anybody getting better from it, because I'd never heard of anybody struggling from it. It's just this massive secret that people are holding in out of shame, and it's that shame that stops us from getting help so we can spiral. I need you to know that I know firsthand that it could get better. I went from I don't even want to say what I was thinking. But if you know, you know. I went from that to better. I started therapy, then I started medication. I took Wellbutrin. We started off with 10 milligrams, and that did absolutely nothing. We boosted the milligrams. I don't remember what it ended up being. But my ears started ringing, and I started having the wildest dreams every night. I used to never dream. And I went from never dreaming at all to being stuck in Salvador Dali paintings all of a sudden. But I felt the haze lift from my head and started feeling happiness again, and stopped feeling that nothingness that I was feeling every single day. And I started experiencing more of my emotions, and the depression lifted. I didn't want to take a pill every day because I'm not good with routines. I didn't like the ringing in my ears and the dreams I was having. So we talked about weaning off my medication once I felt good enough. And, if we started weaning off the medication and I started feeling depressed again, I would go right back on it. I would take that ringing in my ears. I would take the wild dreams and I would live with it, not being depressed, be perfectly fine that way. Thankfully, that didn't happen. I weaned off of the medication and I continued in therapy. I haven't felt depressed or had ideation since 2022. I'm sharing this because I didn't hear from anybody when I needed to. If it's been a while since you felt like yourself, if you've been tired, irritable, or unable to focus, if you're starting to feel like a burden to people or like there's no hope, if you feel like you're in a slump that you can't get out of, and sometimes it takes everything you have to get out of bed in the morning, you might be depressed. You should tell someone you love, and you should find some help. If you're having thoughts that the world will be better off without you and you're wishing you weren't here, you should tell somebody you love and you should find some help. You need to stop holding it in. And if you don't have anyone to tell, you can call 988 and they will talk to you and point you towards resources. It can feel like you're the only person feeling what you're feeling, but you are not. I want you to know that you're not alone, that I'm cheering for you, and that getting help is one of the strongest things you can do. Take care of yourself.